afternoon. It's Mr. Harris. The rotation capital of the world is here right now. Everyone's taking a turn. We're going to today look at rotations and even more rotations on an XY axis, because rotations is something we would have done at primary school. Some of you are primary school students, but we're focusing, this is secondary math, so we're going to focus on how we can do rotations using an XY grid and the information that we need in order to make that work properly. So, all aboard the rotation train. Whoop, whoop. So I hope you've been keeping well and you've had a good Easter holiday, good break. If you've been with me the whole time, well done. If you've been with me all morning because you're joining in some of the younger ones, or you're a younger one and joining an older, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, or if you've just come back and you just come for the foundation lessons, then I apologise for my hair. This is what happens to old men when they have no access to a hairdresser. My hair is going to get progressively worse as the things go on. I should probably shave as well because it's getting a bit of a mess. But we are going to go straight in to the studio, and I continue to call it a studio. I don't care. And we're talking today about rotations. And rotations being one of the 4 major transformations that we're expected to know about. We're expected to know about rotation, reflection, translation, and enlargement. And if you rearrange those, and you get TERR, and I always put a Y on the end for transformation Terry to remind us what the 4 are, and the Y stands for a yes, that's the 4 of them. Translate, enlarge, rotate, reflect. Yes, that's all 4. Terry, transformation Terry. So, we will move on. We're going to learn today. We're going to learn what rotation is, how we can rotate shapes, and how we can use XY grids to do this. In order to do so, I've got a few questions for us to look at. Please remember to send me your work. The more people who send me your pictures of you working, questions, things, I will feedback stuff you've done. I want to create galleries for each thing. This is the hardest one. Okay, there's only 14 of us live now. That's absolutely fine. The more people like and share, the more chance we are that more people will join us. We'll get more interaction. More interaction, the more I can plan more interesting things. I did with the transition people. I did a escape room last week, and feel free to go and have a look at that. I wouldn't mind. I'd like to be able to do things like that with this group, but obviously you need a few more people to be involved for that to take place. So if you are getting bored of Minecraft or Fortnite or Roblox now, and you want to try learn some maths now, term started, this is the place to come. So here's me, and we're going to first of all talk about rotations. Now, in order to rotate something, and here is a card I'd like to rotate, I need to give it some instructions. Now, if I say rotate, nothing happens. 2 reasons. 1, I need more information than that, and 2, the card doesn't respond to my voice activations. However, let's imagine that it does. If I wanted to rotate this, I needed to first of all say which direction I want it to turn. Now, it's just occurred to me that I am going to have to do this in reverse, so that when you're looking this way, it's going to be the right way. If I say rotate anti-clockwise, I want it to rotate anti-clockwise, which I believe means it's going to turn this way. That is rotating anti-clockwise. Notice I've had 2 commands. Rotate, not turn. Rotate and anti-clockwise. I also have to say how anti-clockwise, because if I rotate it and put a little point in the middle, and I'm going to do that now, then I could say, well, I'm going to rotate anti-clockwise around that point and keep that point exactly still. I'm doing my best. I have wobbly arms. However, if that point moves and instead we use point 2, rotating around there and keeping that point, it's a very different rotation. It's almost like a windmill propeller. It's going to turn around that point, whereas this one turns round like that. This one turns round like that. So the center of rotation is also important. You can even have a center of rotation that is off the shape. If my finger is the center of rotation, it's going to move round, which is far harder for me to do, this centre back to the start. So sometimes you can have different rotations and different centres. So there's 3 bits of information you need to perform a rotation. You need the word rotation. You need a direction, and you need a centre. Surely that's enough, right? Let's have a look. Rotate each shape. We need some information. Wait a minute. If we don't at any point say when to stop, these shapes are just going to rotate around those points. They aren't going to stop. Therefore, we need a 4th bit of information. We need the word rotate. We need a centre, called the centre of rotation. We need a direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise. We also need a 4th bit. How far? 90 degrees clockwise, 180 degrees, and 90 degrees anti-clockwise. In the chat, can anyone suggest why I have not put clockwise in the centre question? Is there a reason I have not? I'm in the way! I always look to my right during this lesson and Nina's there going, "You're in the way again, sir." Sorry, I'm always in the way. These are the questions, and hopefully you can see that the middle one I have not said clockwise or anti-clockwise. It's not because we can't see. There, you could see all the information below me anyway. Stop whinging. So, I have not said clockwise or anti-clockwise in the bottom one. Can anyone suggest why? While you're thinking about that, I also want you to have a go at these 3 drawings on bits of paper. So have a go at them while I'm saying some hellos. Good morning to Tablets Harrison. I'm guessing that might be Harrison. Good morning, Amber. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning to Nathan. Good morning to Alicia and her mum Andrea, whose birthday it is today. Good morning, Sophie. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Tablets Harrison, watching me on television. I'm a TV star. I've always wanted to be a TV star. Good morning, Usman. Good morning, Montinut. And anyone got any ideas? Why? Because either way, you're absolutely right, Sophie. Whichever way we rotate, it would go to the same point. 180 degrees goes to the same place, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So, if I go that way half, it's exactly the same as going that way half. Therefore, I don't have to say 180 degrees. I don't have to say direction, because that way is the same as that way. It doesn't make a different answer. So when it's 180 degrees, you don't need a direction. Flip back to your questions. You're all doing these 3 questions. Hopefully that you're getting on all right. Claire's this morning here. Good morning. Oh, it's Eddie. Sorry, Tablets Harrison. It's Eddie. Nina, I very rarely do things because I feel like it. I find that quite over lackadaisical of myself. So instead, I normally try and have good reasons for doing anything. This is the answers we should get. Feel free to pause it if you're still doing your drawings to see what you get. That is that rotation. There's that rotation, and there is that rotation. We're using the centres to rotate around, and you'll notice that a good way of doing this, you can use tracing paper. What you do is you get your shape, and you trace over the shape, and you turn the tracing paper over, keeping your pen or pencil on the dot, so that the tracing paper has to rotate around that dot. That will then show you exactly where you go. Then you peel it off and draw the new shape in. Unfortunately, not like in reflection. You can do it by tracing over the back. Can't do it that way using rotation, but you can use it to rotate. And remember, the three amounts we're really focusing on are 3 amounts are 90, 180, and 270. Are the 3 different amounts of degrees we're going to turn: a quarter turn, half turn, and 3/4 turn. So we want to be going and identifying the rotations. When you're identifying rotations, please remember there are 4 things you have to state. You have to state the word rotate. You have to state the direction you are rotating, clockwise or anti-clockwise. You will find there's always 2 answers. You could go clockwise a certain number of degrees, or you can go anti-clockwise a certain amount. But you have to say which one you're going to do. The third one is the amount of degrees you're turning, normally 90, 180, or 270. Remembering, if it's 180, you don't need to bother saying the direction. And finally, your centre of rotation. We're going to look at different centres in the work we're going to be doing today. But we're not just doing them separately, we're doing them on grids. Here's one what I prepared earlier. There's one. If we have a look at this grid, we will need to use coordinates to try and work out where the centre of rotation is. And to do so, it's probably sensible to head over to my whiteboard where I can go through some different things. I've done it again. Nina's probably screaming at me. Here's the thing. Let me go through again. Sorry. You're not Nina. You're inevitable. Okay. I do apologise. We've removed the thing. Oh, it's obeyed. Okay. If we have a dot here, the centre, the points, will tell us where the centre is. And we're going to head over to the studio where we can see this live. And so, I believe if I go up here, there's one. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get the thing, and first of all, we want to focus on using the origin. Origin is always 0, 0. The origin is always 0, 0. So if it says rotate around the origin, we're going to put a dot at 0, 0. We then get a shape. That's not the neatest rectangle in the world, but you all know it's a rectangle. And we're going to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. In order to do this, I think it's quite useful to do the following. You don't have to, but I think it helps. If I draw that line there, I know that line has to go 90 degrees. So there's 90 degrees. It's going to move exactly there. That's going to be where the new shape ends up. So that is quite a useful way of making sure that your new corner is in the same place. Then this line turns round 90 degrees. Then we can draw the same shape but rotated around, and that was A, and we may remember from your reflections lesson last week, if that's called the object, the new one is called either A dash or the image of the reflected one. And I often like to shade the starting one so we can see where it's come from and where it's gone to. Okay, so that is a excuse me, that is a rotation of A round to A dash by 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Origin is always 0, 0. A second one we might want to do is we're going to this time rotate anti-clockwise 90 degrees about 1, 2. And here we're going to start with a new shape. And as soon as I get a centre that's not the origin, I have to mark it on. So 1, 2. Don't use a cross, use a dot for your centre. That allows you, if you've got tracing paper, to use it. What I then do is, again, draw a line to the first corner you meet and rotate that line by 90 degrees. But I should have gone anti-clockwise, I've gone clockwise. So if I go anti-clockwise, that is my 90 degree, and it's exactly the same, like 1 square across, 1 square across. So then I can start drawing my new shape. This line carried on, so I'll carry on. This line has moved over to here, and it's okay to cross over the axes. This one goes to there, and there, and there. If I was asked to do it again, I can do. All I do is carry on my rotation. Another 90 degrees, and we'll change to a red pen so we can see where the new one's coming. The new one has gone to here, where we carry on a bit, and then we went over like that, and this line has gone to there, and then that's gone straight down there, and you can see it's all rotating. If we then rub out these little bit lines, it's rotating around that central point there. They're all rotating gradually around. But the reason I use the lines is to make sure I get it A in the same place, but B rotating the shape so that they're going into the different places. This line here, if I ever focus on one line, so if I get my highlighter, that line there is now that way there. That is a 90-degree rotation. It's then like that, another 90-degree rotation, and then it will be another 90-degree rotation. So you can always just focus on one line to check if you've done it correctly and see which way you're doing it. Okay, this one's the next one. I want to do one that's slightly harder. Well, what happens if I rotate? We'll go with 180 degrees here because there's no direction then. About 1 minus 2, but I'm going to have a shape that's a bit more convoluted. So 1 minus 2 is here. And I wanted to show you that you can use this method to go to any corner you want. So I'm not, although I could go to this corner, I'm not. I'm going to go to this corner here with my line. And I want to go 180 degrees, so I'm going to basically mirror that line here, because that's 180 degrees. So I know, factually, this corner is this corner. But everything is now rotated 180 degrees. So where it was going out that way, we have to go out the other way, because it's flipped over. Where it went down, we now need to go up. Where it went across the left, we're now going to go across right. And we're going to make the rest of our shape like that. And I often then rub out these lines so that the reflection, is completed. You can see it doesn't matter which way we went. You can go either way, but so both directions would work. You'll still get the same effect of 180 degree rotation. And notice that it's changed. I see a lot of people with the L facing the wrong way. They do the right rotation to the right place, but then they make the L face the wrong way. You've got to realise that this, if you actually did it physically, this long bit, oh, I didn't mean to rub that out. This long bit here has gone round, 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 and is now there. Everything has turned. This bit here has gone round to there, either direction. It doesn't matter, remember it's 180 degrees. So therefore, that's why that's allowed. This is why this shape makes this. Now remember, I like to show my original by shading. Now, what I've done is I've put in a link in the description below of some worksheets to practice this. It's got 8 questions, but unlike last week, I thought what we'd do is we'd do the first one together. So here it is. This is the first question on those worksheets. It says, rotate triangle ABC. The reason it's calling it ABC is because triangle ABC has A, B, and C. That's the only reason it's called it triangle ABC. And it wants 90 degrees clockwise about 0, 0. So the first step is to mark on 0, 0 with a dot. As I've talked you through, how I would then do that is draw a line from there to there, and I draw the same line, so 3 length, 90 degrees. I hope it's clockwise, Mr. Harris. So I'm going to go clockwise to here. There's my 90 degree angle. That tells us that the new starting point is here. This one went right. We want to rotate that, so we're now going to go down. And then across, and across, and shade in the original to make it clear. And then what I like to do is rub out these lines. You can use a pencil and then rub those lines out so you can see. We can even mark on A has moved to here, B has moved to here, and C has moved to here. So we've actually rotated the entire shape and the letters have come with it. We can see everything has come round this direction around this point. So this central point stays in the same place. that has rotated round, and the next one will go over here somewhere, and the next one will go over here somewhere. We can do more than one, but if it only specifies once, only do it once. Don't keep doing it just because it says, oh, it says 90 degrees clockwise. You just do it once and you stop there. Hopefully that has made sense. So, everything I've done today has been about rotating on grids. I don't believe I'm on the screen. We had a few problems, but hopefully we've got to a point where we understand what was going on. So, identifying on grids. If you're given a question and you have to read backwards, all you have to do is try different locations. So what you do is you put your point in, draw the shape on tracing paper, and try it, put a point there, turn it, no, it doesn't work. Turn it, no, it doesn't work. Turn it, no, it doesn't work. You just have to keep trying points until, when you turn that tracing paper, keeping your pen still, the tracing paper lines up exactly, and you go, ah, found the point. Then you choose what the point is. Then you need to know what direction you turned it and how far you turned it, in quarter turns probably. So the four things we're looking at, again, I'm reviewing the same thing. The four things we're looking at are the word rotate. If you're asked what is this transformation, need to say the word rotate. The center of rotation, the direction of rotation, and the angle of rotation, how far you rotate it. So if you can identify those four things, you can identify a rotation on a grid. There's your challenges. If you haven't seen it already, the Taskmaster challenge for this week is to create the best Where's Wally picture, or Where Am I Hiding scene. You must be visible in that picture. I want you to make it as difficult as you can. I want you to challenge me. You need to be in the thing. I'm not on the screen. How dare you suggest I am? Complete the rotations worksheet that's in the link in the description below the video. I don't know why I'm pointing. I've got off it now. We can now see these are the challenges. Complete the rotations worksheet and the Taskmaster challenge. Submit everything you submit to me. I will be storing up and try and put in a gallery for the end of the week. I want to see the best ones. I might even try and stretch to prizes for the best attempts at the Taskmaster things, because I will see what I can afford and get out to people an easy way. Hopefully, Charity, you enjoyed that. If you've just arrived, you might want to start again. Those people who are enjoying the video or feel they've learned something, feel free to drop a like. You don't have to, but if you do, or subscribe if you want to, that I will try and make sure, with people's help, I will try and make sure that I'm getting better and better at not being in the way. So thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for letting me know when I messed up. I've been Mr. Harris. You have got lots of work to go and do. Go and do your rotations. I look forward to seeing the photos on the Facebook group or an email of the things you've done. Speak to you later, you wonderful people.